Yeah, man. And look, this top 8 right here. This is, I think, the guys that like I look at outside of Diego Pavia. I think these guys could lead their team to a college football playoff.
Hmm.
Um,
And,
and
and you and I
go
were
ahead.
talking too. We were talking before this. I do agree with you. I think I ranked Pavia a little too high on this because I ended up putting him up at number 5 in my rankings. And you kind of convinced me too because he's an athlete for sure. He's a
Yeah,
dog. If we're marking dogs in the SEC, he's probably
yeah.
number one. SEC quarterbacks, he's number one. But yeah, I mean, if I'm being a little bit more, if I'm stepping back and taking a deeper look at some of these guys, I'm probably putting him down closer to 8, 9, maybe even 10. And see, for years you had
I had him at
Pavia
11,
down at
didn't
11.
I? Yeah.
So yeah, so I mean, it's 5 and 11 that ended up putting him right here, ranking here on our list up at what is that? I'm losing
7.
track of my, yeah, seventh.
Yeah.
But
Well, look,
yes, he's definitely a guy that could be moved down if we're doing preseason rankings.
yeah, I mean, I get why you have him there because, what he accomplished last season. And like you said, he's got
Yeah,
that dog and he's a leader. And when you really watch that SEC doc on Netflix and you see his attitude, and there was a clip in there where he said that when he got to Vandy, like he walked into the weight room and everything, and he heard some of the guys talking, and they were like, "Oh, we could win this game, we could win that game. We're probably going to lose that game." And then he like checked them, and he was like, "Nah." He was like, "We're winning all these games. We're winning every game. We're not going down the schedule and doing this." And so I get why people think, "Oh, Pavia high, like on my list of SEC quarterbacks." I get it. I just think great athlete, mediocre quarterback. Like
yeah,
I'm not going to see Diego Pavia on Sundays in the NFL.
yeah,
That is why I have him low. I'm not taking anything away from the guy that buckles it up on Saturdays and goes out there and gives 110% for the Vanderbilt Commodores because I love it. I love it.
yeah,
And sometimes I hear people say, "Oh, he's an off-brand Johnny Manziel. He tries too hard." My thing is you got to have a certain type of swagger to go into Vanderbilt, and he did it. And he come from New Mexico State, which is a all-time loser program, and he bet on himself to go to Vanderbilt and succeed. So you got to have some type of dog. And when people they're like, "Oh, well, Diego Pavia said that Vanderbilt's going to win the national championship." What else do you want him to say?
yeah, yeah. I mean, I
Do you want
love,
him to get on there and say that they're going 2-10?
yeah, I love his mentality. The only thing that rubbed me wrong was whenever I saw people at SEC media days asking him about celebrities, and he didn't know anybody. Like, and then the fact that he was on Bussin' with the Boys, and he didn't even know who Josh Pate was. And
Oh,
and then like there's little things. That's the part that irritates me. And you're
yeah,
so disconnected from reality. But that tells me he's focused on one thing.
yeah.
He wants to go out there and be that dog. The reason why I think I put him so high on this list is I imagine if Diego Pavia had, maybe if he was on Arkansas even, and
Yeah.
I'm saying Arkansas is better than Vanderbilt in football. That seems like an outrageous thing to say right now, which is crazy to think
Nah.
about. But if he was on Arkansas, because Arkansas still does pull in some athletic, some talented dudes. If he was on maybe Arkansas, or let's see if he were to go over to Mizzou this year, I think he could be high up on this list if he had
Yeah.
the weapons around him. And so, I think that's why I would have ranked him a little higher. But I like that we have him down there at 7. I think that's a good ranking for him.
Yeah,
And then for
for
Ty
sure.
Simpson, again, we don't have too much on him. But I'd feel so. I was looking back at Ty Simpson, is some highlights, his huddle film and stuff like that. And when
Mhm.
I was studying the film for Ty Simpson, and I think I've heard others say it as well. I'm sure I have, because I know that there's a lot of people saying that they're high on Alabama and high on the quarterback situation. And I think one thing that I look at, it was no secret that Jalen Milroe didn't really fit Kalen DeBoer's system.
For
There was
sure.
no secret there. Was he the better quarterback to go with, though? Yeah, you had to go with him last year.
Yeah.
And so he didn't really fit that system. Ty Simpson fits. And
Yeah.
I think he's another guy that, if Alabama ends up going 11-1, he's probably the second or third best quarterback in the SEC, top
Yeah.
5 in the nation, probably, if that's the case. So I think if he ends up fitting the way that I think he can be much higher. We just don't know. Marcel Reed is another dog. He's just an athletic human being, can do a lot. And Texas A&M always has. We were talking about this last week. They've always got their ceiling is always very high. It's just that their floor is also pretty low,
Mm-hmm.
always. And so that's kind of the crazy thing with Texas A&M. And then Arch Manning came down a little bit because of me. So for Manning, you had him at 3, I had him at 6. Again, it's just another situation where I saw him struggle against, I believe it was Mississippi State, and then there was, I also saw him struggle against some lower competition and non-conference play, and I saw some struggles. I think he will be much better this year. That's why I put him all the way up there, as high as I did at 6. So I think he's better than over half the quarterbacks in the league. But I'm not quite ready to say he's as good as Heisman favorite good. I haven't seen enough from him yet. I think he's going to be a freak. I really do. It's just from what I know right now, I have to mark him down a little bit lower. So we end up having him come in there at number 5, which is still dang good. I mean, if he's number 5, watch out. Texas is going to be good this year.
I'll tell you this, Josh. I got Ty Simpson. I got him. I had him at 9, I believe. And I don't think this is a bad thing for Alabama, because I think Ty Simpson comes into one of the best situations possible. You got Ryan Hollywood Williams, Jeremy Bernard come back. I think that's massive. I know you lost Jam Miller. He's going to be out for a little bit of time, but you're deep in that running back room. Your defense is what it is. So, once again, this is another situation where we don't really need Ty Simpson to go out and be a Heisman Trophy contender. It's just not in the cards, and it reminds me so much of Mac Jones in 2020, a guy that waited. He bought his time, and then all of a sudden he gets his chance, and bang, it takes off, right? And I think that's the situation Ty Simpson's in. And so I think it's a good fit. I do. I really do. And if he ends up hitting, then I think Alabama has a tremendous season. Diego Pavia, look, I'm cool with it. I mentioned him, dog, whatever. I like it. I think the kid's a gamer, right? Marcel Reed. I think this guy actually has the potential to take off and be one of the better quarterbacks in this league. And I think he could end up potentially playing on Sundays if he figures out accuracy, touch, and just let it rip, man. Let it go, And there was times last year, I remember when he come to Auburn, it was like, man, you could see it. You were like, oh, dang, there he goes. And it was just like rip, rip, rip. And you were like, man, this dude's talented. And then there were some times where it was like, you could just see the hesitation a little bit. Now, he was young. I get it. I'm looking at him in the future. I think he has a high upside, man. I think he could go as far as he wants to work. And I'm really excited about Marcel Reed's future, because we know he's got it in the legs. Dude, he's quick as a cat. So I'm excited about him. Arch, look, I'm high on Arch because I think, like I said about Austin Simmons, I put Arch in that category, Josh. I think your head coach is going to put you in situations that others just aren't going to do. And you also have the weapons around you. You got the talent. You got the Jimmies and the Joes around you. And I think you're going to be in favorable positions that other coaches aren't going to put their guys in. So I think Arch is going to have an upper hand. And I think we're going to really be able to tell. That Ohio State game is going to tell us a lot, but I'm looking at week 3, week 4. I want to see the growth of Arch Manning and him really hit stride and take off. So I'm high on Arch.
Yeah. I mean, I think I will be when I see it, and I think week one is when we're going to see it.
Yeah.
And that's something we'll get to, as well as some of these big time matchups. And there's a lot of big ones.
For sure.
So yeah, I think week 1, I'll probably change my mind and say either Arch Manning deserves to be lower or Arch Manning deserves to be higher. Because if you go into Columbus and you just perform solid, we don't need, again, that's another situation. You don't really need to do anything spectacular. You don't have to have a Heisman moment against Ohio State there in the horseshoe. You just have to go up there and do your thing. You just have to go up there and fill your role and trust the talent around you. Like you said, they are talented over there. I mean, Texas has a very talented team.
For sure.
But, and so all you've got to do is just fit in with that talent around you. And I think he'll be just fine. So if he does that, I'm probably putting him up there like number 3. I think because I think it was, for me, it was really kind of between him and Lagway. I had a hard time, like he could jump up like right ahead of Lagway.
Yeah.
Just because I think he possesses more of a, I guess not more. He has the potential of possessing more than what Lagway shows. Lagway, another athletic freak. But how much of all of that is going to come in? So I had Manning at 6. You had him at 3. That's where he ended up falling there. And then he was just behind, half a point behind the next guys above him. But whenever we did our averages together, so yeah, I'm interested to see how good. So I think a lot of what rides on Texas this season is just how good Arch Manning really can be. Because if he is Jackson Arnold last year for Texas, then that's going to turn a lot of things around. I don't think that's the case because I think they have enough talent and they're built up around him just fine. But I more or less question Texas because they lost so many guys to the draft. But I do know that they stack on top of each other. So they're very good over there at doing that right now. And I do have a lot of faith in Sarkisian to do well. As much as it pains me to sit here talking good about Texas, and yeah, I think Arch Manning has the potential. He has a very high ceiling. He has a lot of potential. It's just whether he's going to live up to that potential or not. I just have to see it.
I'm with you 100%, man. I think he could be a real gamer, and I think we could watch him for a long time on Sundays.
Probably. He's got that last name.